Hey everyone, welcome back to Shine Podcast, the space where we talk about the Europe around us and how you can help shape it. I'm Stefan, and today we're talking about something that affects people every day, even when they don't notice discrimination. How to recognize it, how to fight it, and how the EU plays a role in making things better. With me today is Danny.
Hi everyone. Before we dive into studies or big ideas, I want to share a short story, something that stayed with me for nearly 20 years. It might not sound like much, but it changed how I see things. Many years ago, I was walking down a sunny street in my hometown. I was a teenager then, busy-minded like most teens, but something that two boys did caught my attention. They must not have been older than 8 years old. One was standing still, waiting, the other was walking in his direction. They didn't know each other, but when they saw each other, there was this unmistakable, almost magical curiosity in their eyes. That kind of curiosity kids have, the one that says, "Wanna be friends?" even without words.
Just that? What made it so powerful to you?
It was the context. Each child was with his mom. One mom was casually walking with her son, the other mom was digging through a trash bin for food. The child standing still was clearly waiting while his mother searched for something to eat. It was only because of the way the two boys noticed each other, not with judgment, just pure curiosity, that I realized what I was actually seeing. One of the families was Roma, the other wasn't, and the two moms, they didn't even glance at each other.
So, what made the scene disturbing wasn't just poverty, it was the way you and others reacted?
Exactly. What hit me hard was realizing what my own thoughts about what I saw were. I saw a child by the trash can and immediately thought that's perfectly normal. Not surprising at all. Nothing wrong with this image. Just something to be expected. Why? Because they were Roma. If that had been anyone else, a neighbor, a stranger who looked like me, even a celebrity, I would have felt shock, sympathy, but this, nothing.
That's a heavy realization. So, you were discriminating even silently just by assuming that this degrading condition fits some people.
Yes, that's how discrimination works sometimes, quietly under the surface, normalized.
That story really gets to the heart of the issue. Discrimination becomes invisible until something or someone breaks the pattern.
That day, the boys broke the pattern. Perhaps they held a stereotype about each other. Studies show that starts early, but at that moment, they acted differently. They saw each other.
So, what's the first step to fighting discrimination?
Well, awareness. Being honest about what we assume, what we ignore, not just blaming others or the system, but noticing our own blind spots, because once you start seeing, you can't unsee.
And this fight against discrimination isn't just personal. In Europe, it's also a legal and civic commitment.
Absolutely. The European Union is founded on respect for human rights. The Treaty on European Union outlines those core values and requires the EU to fight discrimination.
Can you explain what the treaty is? Why is it so important and relevant in the everyday lives of citizens in EU countries?
Absolutely. Think of the Treaty on European Union, or TEU, as the EU's moral and legal compass, kind of like its constitution. It doesn't go into the tiny details, but it sets the big rules, what the EU stands for and what it must protect. Right from Article 2, it says the EU is built on values like human dignity, freedom, democracy, equality, and respect for human rights, including rights for people from minority groups. That matters in real life, because whenever a country makes a law or a court decides something, or even when a school gets EU funding, those values have to be respected. It's not optional. And if government ignores them, the EU can step in. So the treaty isn't just full of nice words. It's a legal promise. It links everyday things like your right to be treated fairly, to speak up, to be yourself, to the very foundation of the Union.
Does the treaty mention discrimination and hate speech? What do these terms mean in a legal context?
Yes, it does, though not always in the words we use every day. The treaty talks about non discrimination and the need to fight things like social exclusion and injustice. In Article 10, it says the EU must work to eliminate inequality in everything it does. That includes race, religion, gender, disability, age, sexual orientation. It's a legal promise, not just a nice idea. As for hate speech, the term isn't used directly in the treaty, but the idea behind it is there. Because if the EU is meant to protect human dignity and rights, it also has to act when those rights are under attack, like when people are mocked, threatened, or dehumanized just for being who they are.
Is this the entire legal framework we need to be aware of?
The treaty is just the starting point. To really get how the EU protects people's rights in everyday life, we've got to talk about the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the European Union. Think of it as the EU's human rights book. And the best part, it applies directly to all EU citizens. One article really stands out, Article 21. It says, no one can be discriminated against, or because of their sex, race, skin color, ethnic background, language, religion, disability, age, or sexual orientation. What makes the Charter powerful is this. It's not just symbolic. If a government, school, or public service is applying EU law, they have to respect the Charter. So if you're treated unfairly while applying for housing or getting healthcare or at school, you can actually go to court, and the court has to follow the charter. So no, the treaty isn't the whole picture. The charter takes those big EU values and turns them into personal rights. It helps you protect yourself and stand up for others too.
What courts can I appeal to, and how does the process work?
Okay, that's a great question, because knowing your rights is one thing, but knowing how to use them is what really matters. If you face discrimination, like unfair treatment at school, at work, or in public, your first move is to contact your national equality body. Every EU country has one. They can give you advice, help file a complaint, and sometimes even support legal action. If you take your case to court, you must first go through your national court system. But if your case involves EU law like the Charter, that court can ask the European Court of Justice for help. And if you've tried everything and still didn't get justice in your country, then you, as an individual, can take your case to European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. It sounds complicated.
Totally, I hear you. It can sound like a mountain of institutions, treaties, and legal words, but if we break it down, it's 5 simple layers, each one bringing the law closer to you. First layer, the values. The EU is built on equality and human dignity. That's not just a slogan, it's written right into the Treaty of the European Union. It's like the EU's promise to all of us. Second layer, the rights. Those promises become personal in the Charter of Fundamental Rights. Article 21 is crystal clear. No discrimination for any reason. That's your shield. Third layer, the laws. This is where it gets practical. The EU made laws called directives that say if you're treated unfairly at school, at work, at the doctor's office, or when renting a flat because of your race, age, religion, gender, or who you love, it's not just wrong, it's illegal. Fourth layer, where to go. Every country has equality bodies, real offices where you can go for help. If needed, you can take your case to court, and those courts can even ask the European Court of Justice for help if EU law is involved. And finally, the backup plan. If everything fails, if your country doesn't fix it, and your rights are still being ignored, you can go to the European Court of Human Rights. You, not the government. That's power in your hands. So yeah, the system might look complex, but it's all built around you. Your freedom, your right to be treated equally, and to fight back when you're not.
Well, so informed. The entire picture is much clearer to me now. So, when you choose to speak up or reflect your own basis, you're not alone. There are structures and policies across Europe working towards the same goal. So, in short, start local, go national. If needed, go European. You've got legal paths to follow, and you don't have to do it alone.
Yes, and a lot of people don't know this. You, as an individual, can take a case to European Court of Human Rights if your basic rights have been violated. If you have tried everything in your country and you still haven't found justice, you can apply directly to the court in Strasbourg, even without a lawyer. It's a process that takes time, but the court's decisions matter. Governments have to follow them. It's one of the strongest tools you have as a citizen.
That sounds empowering, but also a little hard to imagine doing, especially as a young person.
Totally, and that's fair. Having rights is one thing, but using them takes time, knowledge, and support. And not everyone has it right away. But here's the thing, you don't have to figure it out alone. Every EU country has a national equality body, official offices that help people facing discrimination. They offer free legal advice, help with complaints, and sometimes support you throughout the whole process. You can also turn to youth rights organizations like the European Youth Forum or groups like ENAR, the European Network Against Racism. Many have tools made just for young people.
Alright, but how to access them? How to start?
That's the best part. You don't need to be an expert. Just do a simple internet search, type equality body in your country, and you will find real people ready to help.
Can you give me some examples?
Certainly. Take the case of DH and others versus the Czech Republic as an example. A group of Roma children were unfairly placed in special schools. They brought the case to European Court of Human Rights and won. That one ruling led to changes in education policies across Europe. So yes, it can be a long road, but your voice can change things.
Small actions matter, and when they're connected to something bigger, they can really make waves.
Exactly. Especially when your actions connect to something powerful like what the EU is doing.
Like what?
Like the SERV program. It stands for Citizens, Equality, Rights and Values. Yeah, long name, but here's what it matters. SERV gives real funding and support to people and groups working for equality. Youth organizations, schools, local communities. So if there is a campaign fighting hate speech, a workshop on Roma rights, or a student project about inclusion, SERV might be helping make it happen. It's the EU's way of saying you're not alone. If you're taking action, we are backing you up. So when young people speak up, organize, or launch their own ideas, they're not just reacting to injustice. They're building something bigger. They're part of a movement with resources behind them, shaping Europe from the ground up.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. We started with a story, 2 kids seeing each other without prejudice, and somehow we've gone from that quiet moment to EU treaties, human rights, courtrooms, and youth-led change. And yet, it all connects.
It really does, because the fight against discrimination isn't just about laws or policies, it's about people, it's about seeing each other, listening and choosing to act, and knowing that when you do, you're not doing it alone. The EU has legal structure, support programs, and rights that back you up.
That's powerful to remember. Whether you're challenging a stereotype, supporting a friend, or joining a project in your community, it counts. It matters.
It does, because small actions, when we do them together, they grow, they become culture, they become the change.
Thank you so much for being with us today, for breaking down a complex topic in a way that really hits home.
Thank you. And to everyone listening, keep asking, keep noticing, keep acting. That's how we build a more equal Europe. One step, one voice at a time. In the next episode, we're discussing fake news and disinformation.